Good afternoon. My name is Stephen Graff, and I am a retired public school teacher. I've been teaching in the public schools for 26 years. So I am applying for a tutoring position. And what I am going to talk about in this recording is how I would approach the teaching of narrative essay writing with an elementary student or even a middle school student. So the first thing I would do if I was sitting down with a student before we started getting into any of the actual work of writing is to number one, to talk about writing, to talk about why it's important to write, how writing helps us to get our feelings and our observations out and down on paper or on a typing on a computer in Google Docs. And what I'm going to be talking about here is how I would approach the writing of a personal narrative. A lot of times that's the first essay that a student is going to be assigned with. And a personal narrative is a personal story that the student is telling. A lot of times they get a specific assignment. The assignment might be to write about something that happened over the summer. And a lot of times kids will write about vacations that they went on, or trips that they went on, or maybe something they did on the 4th of July. Any event would be a good topic for a personal narrative. But the thing that I would focus on with a student is to choose a topic that really is interesting to them, something that they could really write about. Before they start getting anything down on paper, though, we would want to talk about, myself and the student would want to talk about how to approach a personal narrative. And that would be the first step, which is to define it. What is a personal narrative? What does that mean? It means to tell a story. So what are the parts of a story? What does a good story need to have? How do we make this story really interesting? How do we keep it from being boring? Because a lot of times kids struggle with writing because they think that writing itself is boring, or they think maybe the topic itself is going to be boring, or they think that writing about themselves is not that interesting. So those are the issues that have to be tackled first before we get started with writing. And then the real first step to getting ideas down, recording ideas, is to complete a story map. Students need to be able to do that. And if we're doing a story map, that's going to basically outline the structure of the personal narrative. It's going to have the topic, it's going to have the supporting details, and it's going to have a conclusion. Most students, I think, feel most comfortable in not starting with the topic sentence, but starting with the supporting details. And those are the interesting bits and pieces of the story. So you're getting those down on paper, or getting them down on a story map, or there are online places where you can do story maps. So that's how I would start. And then, the next steps are continuing from there, and it is a process, a step-by-step process. So from the story map, then we start working on putting together a rough draft. And that's basically it. So have a great day.